Carolyn Castor, Associated Press. File photo, Chris Kobach, a conservative Republican who is running for governor, was a leading source for Trump's unsubstantiated claim that millions of immigrants in the country illegally may have voted in the 2016 election. By Roxana Hiegman, Associated Press. Wichita, Con. A federal judge ruled Monday that Kansas cannot require documentary proof of U.S. citizenship to register to vote, finding such laws violate the constitutional right to vote in a ruling with national implications. The ruling by U.S. District Judge Julie Robinson is the latest setback for Kansas Secretary of State Chris Kobach, who has championed such laws and led President Donald Trump's now-defunct Voter Fraud Commission. The 118-page decision came in two consolidated cases challenging a Kansas voter registration law requiring people to provide documents such as a birth certificate, U.S. passport or naturalization papers. Start your day with the news you need from the Bay Area and beyond. Sign up for our Morning Report weekday newsletter. The decision strikes down the Kansas proof of citizenship registration law and makes permanent an earlier injunction that had temporarily blocked it. In an extraordinary rebuke, the judge also ordered Kobach on Monday to complete an additional 6 hours of legal education on top of other requirements before he can renew his law license for the upcoming year. She imposed the sanction for his numerous disclosure violations. Kobach did not immediately respond to phone and email messages seeking comment. No other state has been as aggressive as Kansas in imposing proof of citizenship voter registration requirements. Alabama and Georgia have proof of citizenship laws that are not currently being enforced, according to the American Civil Liberties Union. Arizona is the only other state with a similar law in effect, but that law is far more lenient, and allows people to satisfy it by writing their driver's license number on the voter registration form. The lead case filed by the ACLU on behalf of several named voters and the League of Women Voters is centered on the National Voter Registration Act, commonly known as the Motor Voter Law, which allows people to register to vote when applying for a driver's license. The case required Kobach to prove that Kansas has a significant problem with non-citizens registering to vote. Robinson found the Kansas law disproportionately impacts qualified voters, while only nominally preventing non-citizen voter registration. It also may have the inadvertent effect of eroding, instead of maintaining confidence in the electoral system given the confusing, evolving, and inconsistent enforcement of documentary proof of citizenship laws since 2013, she wrote. Her ruling also encompassed a less publicized legal challenge filed by Kansas voter Parker Bednosek, which is not limited to motor voter applicants cited in the ACLU and therefore affects all Kansas voters. Kobach, a conservative Republican who is running for governor, was a leading source for Trump's unsubstantiated claim that millions of immigrants in the country illegally may have voted in the 2016 election. This decision is a stinging rebuke of Chris Kobach, and the centerpiece of his voter suppression efforts, a Show Me Your Papers law that has disenfranchised tens of thousands of Kansans, Dale Ho, director of the ACLU's Voting Rights Project, said in news release. That law was based on a xenophobic lie that non-citizens are engaged in rampant election fraud. The cases have drawn national attention because of its implications for voting rights as Republicans pursue laws they say are aimed at preventing voter fraud, but critics contend target Democratic-leaning minorities and college students who may not have such documentation. Chris Kobach's mission to disenfranchise eligible Kansas voters has again been revealed as the unconstitutional crusade it has always been. Kansas Democratic Party Executive Director Ethan Corson said in an emailed statement. But the decision drew criticism from Steve Watkins, the Republican candidate for Kansas' 2nd Congressional District, who called it the latest example of unelected judges replacing their wisdom for that of voters. There is nothing controversial about requiring United States citizens to show identification when they register to vote. It protects American citizens' right to free and fair elections. Instead of mocking or playing politics with the integrity of our electoral process, the judiciary should be protecting it, Watkins said. Kansas has about 1.8 million registered voters. Kobach has told the court he has been able to document a total of 127 non-citizens who at least tried to register to vote. 43 of them were successful in registering, he says, and 11 have voted since 2000. 5 of those people registered at motor vehicle offices, according to Kobach. In the first 3 years after the Kansas law went into effect in 2013, about 1 in 7 voter registration applications in Kansas were blocked for lack of proof of citizenship, with nearly half of them under the age of 30, according to court documents. Between 2013 and 2016, more than 35,000 Kansas residents were unable to register to vote. Courts had temporarily blocked Kobach from fully enforcing the Kansas law, with the 10th U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals in Denver calling it a mass denial of a fundamental constitutional right. In a separate legal challenge, the U.S. Court of Appeals for the District of Columbia also has temporarily blocked the enforcement of the state's proof of citizen requirement for people who register to vote using the federal form. Sponsored content: How Amazon has changed the way we shop. By the retailing behemoth Amazon continues to dominate the world of online retail, and in doing so, it's transformed the way we shop and buy. But you might also like suffering from the heat. Try air-cool. NewThingsToday.com. How to watch 2018 World Cup from Singapore at ExpressVPN. Why pay $112 to watch the World Cup when you can watch at ExpressVPN? 1 o'clock. How Toshiba is helping to shape a more connected world. Toshiba APAC. Who knew? Putting probiotics on your face can actually Lancome on Daily Vanity. What do your food choices say about you? Take this. Food quiz: Melania Trump will finally meet the Queen, but Trump. MercuryNews.com. Ask Amy. She told my son she doesn't want to be. MercuryNews.com. Andre Iguodala told Warriors he was going to sign with. MercuryNews.com. Recommended by